Hello, welcome to the Wargamer, your host Rob. Welcome to the Age of Sigmar Stat Center. This lovely bank holiday Monday in the UK. If you guys aren't aware of a bank holiday, it's I don't know what it is. It's a Saturday night. It's a Sunday night where I have to DJ till 6 in the morning. Hence the lateness of the show. Apologies to everyone who's joining me live. This is obviously filmed in front of a live studio Twitch audience every Monday midday UK time, almost all of the time. And so you should join us. And normally it's me and my co-host, Mr. Owen Jackson, but he's also busy as it's a bank holiday, basically a public holiday today. But I couldn't leave today without doing the show, so I'm excited to be here to talk about event results from around the world this weekend from Age of Sigmar tournaments, etc. Thanks everyone for joining me live. Scott B, I see you. T-Man Cash, thanks for subbing. A load of people subbed in the chat. Psycho, lovely to see you. Hot Sauce Teddy, thanks for being here. Hope everyone is well. Owen's probably still partying. That's 100% true. Okay, not loads of two-day events around the world. In fact, I was only able to find one. So if I missed any, do let me know. We are off the back of quite a few one-day tournaments, and we're also off the back of the most recent FAQ, obviously, that came out last week. So we've just had the Age of Sigmar FAQ, so all of these event results will be without that FAQ in mind. Not that I think that FAQ is going to change many of these results particularly, but I do think that what they might do is that we might see some particular gnarly builds float to the top, depending on how people rule that ward and DPR save. So we'll see what the situation is there. Hey Pask, big love to you. Thanks for sending me that link here earlier. I appreciated it. Right, okay, so let's talk about the event results from around the world, shall we? We're still putting our actual stats together. So our stats database, there's already some people have put some good stats together already, specifically our friends over in Spain. So we've been looking at that, but our stats crew are working a little bit harder to make sure we nail everything perfectly. Not that those guys aren't working hard, of course, but we're just trying to put it together really well. Hey, Halalex, hope you're well. Jeffrey Mirza, many TOs already rule in the world save as non-stackable. I think that's going to be an interesting one, right? Just dropping into resub and say I finally got my first game of AOS this weekend. Bomb Squig, how was it? I hope it's well. Hope it was good. Pragmatic, saw mean people were you two on Facebook after you posted your link to FAQ, and I just want to say fuck them, you're the best one out there. Thanks, Pragmatic, appreciate you. That's fine. It was a clickbaity YouTube thumb, and it worked. Which is the important part. And as long as I got the information out there to the people, which is what I'm trying to do, I'm just trying to bring the skill level up of all of us all up together. It's already higher than me, so we're just doing that as a gang. Played 2 games yesterday. 41 was run into combat. It's strong took down post FAQ. Yeah, oh, Shugo, that's very interesting. Hey, Jacob Berry. I mean, you can definitely work on your communication. Very bad. Still subbed. Thanks, Jacob Berry. That one guy. Right, let's talk about events from around the world. So, as far as I'm aware, our only 2-day event. Oh my god, let me just. I put this together very last minute this morning, boys, because I was up late. I'm actually running on 4 hours sleep just to get you guys this, so love you all to pieces. Our only event that I know of, 2-day event that occurred this weekend, and if there were more, and you're listening, like, Rob, you didn't mention ours, you should email the Age of Sigmar Stat Center. It's in the link below. You should get in touch with me. You should find me on Twitter, and you should add me, and you follow me, and send me messages, and that's the way. Tweet me, Rob, there's this event, and I'll pay attention, okay? So, the Toowoomba Open. Now, this is actually on my bucket list of events I would like to attend. There's definitely very high on this list. High on the list is the Toowoomba Open, also the Runex Team Championships as well one day is on my list. So, it's a 2-day event in Toowoomba. The home of the Fail Charge podcast, if you guys haven't listened to that. It had 37 players, and there was only one person in the 5-0 bracket. Now, don't forget, if it's got 5 games, we consider it a bracket, so some more than 2 people could have gone 5-0, but they didn't. Only one person went 5-0. We did have 2 people, Tim and Corey, go 4 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. 4 wins and 1 draw. And then we had Tyler McDonald and Sam Thompson. They both went 4 wins and 1 loss. So Tim and Corey, that's Tim McDivitt and Corey Papanepi. I can never say that right. I think it was Corey, actually. Let me just double check and make sure I've not fucked that. It was Corey. They went 4 wins and 1 draw. And we'll talk through the list now, is what we'll do. Rob, the new video format was out this world, not even YouTube. So thanks, Eric. I appreciate you. I also enjoy the Tube's content. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, everyone. I will try to make more YouTube-style content, but I absolutely love hanging out with you guys and doing this. Slav Gag, just call him Corey Pap. I will call him Corey Pap. Thanks, Tank. Thanks, Pass, sorry. Psycho. Please clarify the ward after save situation, as there was a lot of confusion after your initial reading. Time FAQ clearly allows for armor saves, a single ward save. That now includes bodyguard trucks, a single after allocation save. Still unsure. Thanks to S Plunkin 309 for donating £20 to the show. That's fucking rad of you. Psycho, I'll try and clarify at the end. Let me just go through and do what I'm here to do, and then if you got any questions at the end of the show, I'll bring that up if that helps you. And if you can't stick around for that, I'm sorry. We'll try and do that on Wednesday. Wednesday is when I talk to the chat for the whole day. So come and see me on Wednesday, and we'll have long chats about it. It would be cool. Splunkin, thank you loads. Right, so in the 5-0 bracket this weekend was Mr. David Kerr, formerly an Australian master. Let me actually just try and bring this image up for you guys instead of you guys not being a part of the conversation. Let's get it in there. There we go. Dave's an amazing Warhammer player and person, basically. And you probably he's one of the he's very up there in the skill sets over in Australia. And Australia genuinely is producing some very solid wargamers. I'm very, very excited to see them on the international stage in the next couple of years, whenever that can occur again. So I'm hyped to see it. And Dave's doing some really solid work with this 5-0 list. He's also, this is a list, or a similar list to a list he was pushing around in Age of Sigmar 2. So he hasn't really been messing around. Now, he's got a Despoilers Slaves to Darkness list, and it has got Archaon in. So yes, it's Archaon, but it's not Tzeentch Archaon, and it doesn't benefit from a load of the things that does have. But it does have some really solid tech inside of it. He's got Archaon, and then he's also got Be'lakor in there as well. So he's got the piece to go and smash, of course, in Archaon, but he's also got Be'lakor to shut down the opponent's key threat, which is such a devastating combination. It also gives him 2 monsters, which I think is really key. He's also got the Slaves to Darkness Demon Prince with the Mark of Core. Now, don't forget that command ability for the Bloodslit Ground. You can find the lists. Yes, absolutely. I will send you the list right now. Here is the link to the lists. I'll also, not today, but tomorrow, I will be putting the the lists also on thehonestwargamer.com, and I'll be trying to backdate any lists that I haven't done yet from the past couple of weeks. So if you want to find these sorts of lists, or if you're one of the people that have played with these lists and you want to write your own list on thehonestwargamer.com, you can go write your own lists on there, write your own rundowns, share it with your friends. It's all free, just for you guys to just use and enjoy yourself, right? Can you enhance for the blind? Yes, I will try. Enhance? There we go. But weirdly, my face is in the way, which is super frustrating. 1 second. Let me just fucking move myself. Every different tournament app has got a different placing. So there we go. Right, okay. So, like I said, Archaon and Be'lakor. Now, don't forget Bellacor's Dark Master ability to shut down a unit. Really, really key. Archaon and all of the things he's going to be able to do. An additional, so he's got reroll 1s from that Aura of Chaos from Tzeentch, which is obviously going to be massive because he's going to use in their finest hour. He's going to use Mystic Shield. He's going to use All Out Defense. So he's going to be on a 2-up, maybe ignoring Ren 1, maybe ignoring Ren 2, and he's going to be re-rolling once to save. And then, so that's a very deadly Archaon, but he's not -1 to hit. He's got Be'lakor to shut down opposing enemy threats. He's got the Slavestar and Demon Prince to shut down charges, so he's going to half charges where he needs to. He's got a Chaos Lord as well, so for piling and activate twice on that on Archaon as well, so he's going to make him in there. Yeah, a bulky Be'lakor, 100%. And then finally, he's got 3 units of 10 Chaos Marauders, so like absolutely min battle line. This was pre-Ed Sheeran change, Dave Frazier, so this is pre the FAQ. Hey, Gangsters Paradise, big love to you. I'll drink some water, I promise. I got it. Now, the thing that I love about this list is the Chaos War Shrine with a Universal Prayer heal in this list. This is hot shit. this is really important, because one of the things about Archaon is that he's got an ability in the hero phase to heal. Obviously, also he can use heroic recovery on a bravery 10 to heal another D3. So this gives him a potential 15 D3 heals over the course of a battle round. Of a game. Not forgetting that he's going to be on a 2-up save, rerolling ones, ignoring spells, ignoring mortals. He's very tanky, but that healing is going to be a bravery 12 actually. Thanks, Pask. Love you. So, like, he's very, very likely to be able to heal 15 D3. But Dave hasn't shied away from that, and instead, he's doubled down on it. Doubled down? Fuck, I'm a mess this morning, sorry. He's doubled down on it, and he's got a War Shrine with heal. So that's a potential other 5d3. So that's 20d3 he could heal over the course of a game, right? Which is huge. Yeah, he's just going to be really, really solid. Now, I find this list really interesting because also it's got these minimal battle line units, these Chaos Marauders, and we're actually... hey, Forgive, hope you're well. Oh, so nice to see you, miss you. We see this a lot now in Age of Sigmar 3. Big monster pieces, min battle line. We've seen it with some Stonehorn lists, with Saber Tusks. We've seen this quite a few times, and some lists play into it really nicely as well. But it's so interesting not necessarily needing to hold so many objectives. Age of Sigmar 2 was about having as many objectives on the board as it was possible to hold. So you need a lot of bodies in a lot of places. Age of Sigmar 3, you oftentimes are only holding 2 if you're holding 2 at all, right? Sometimes you might be trying to hold 3. But, like, Archaon can pretty much go clear 1 objective on his own. So you really only are trying to hold 1. And so I think you're going to see this more and more. You're going to require having less bodies all the time. And I personally think that that's just a really interesting take. Dave's obviously an excellent gamer as well. So he's always going to do good. Right, Timothy McDivitt went 1-4 and got a draw, as did Corey. So we'll look at their lists a little bit. So they're in the 4 and 1 draw bracket. Forgive. Now I'm all about the Maw Crusher Rogue Guide on 30 Savage Lads. There you go. Same sort of idea, right? Every game I play involves a big monster piece, if you know what I'm saying, Dave Fraser. I really miss you guys. Like, honestly, I thought, like, having a day off, if you guys have never tuned into this Wargamer before, I streamed for 500 days in a row. Yeah. Now having a day off, I truly get excited to come back and hang out with you guys. Anyway, so excited to see you guys. What's Pask saying? Too many battle line can be a problem with broken ranks, says Pask. Yeah, that's true, Pask. You do need battle line, though. What I'm trying to say is I don't think the battle line, and having 10 Marauders, they're not really like committed to the battle line. Like we saw in the Super Series Showcase match, where we saw the South London Legion try and they were like 20 play bearers, 20 more tech guard, like they always had like thick, chunky battle lines not to give away broken flags. I think you're always going to give away broken flags. Don't even think about it. Instead, go for the bonus victory points with the monsters. I think it's like, instead of trying to deny 2 VP, maybe, and it's such a it's such an unlikely occurrence that you're going to potentially you're not going to give away broken ranks. So instead of committing to that, instead try and score your bonus 1 victory points is what I think's happening. But anyway, I don't think you even try and give it, like Jacob said in the chat, I don't think you even try and not give it up. You just get over the extra points. Stabgrot, so nice. Thanks for subscribing. I must be a professional subscriber. It was cheaper this month to subscribe. Oh, if you guys don't know, I'll just quickly all let you know if you do subscribe on Twitch. Twitch has actually changed its terms of service. Let me just do a big me for this so you guys can see. Twitch has changed its terms of service, but more importantly, its local currency rates all around the world. Effectively, it's made all subscriptions all over the world cheaper for the people who do subscribe. So if you are a subscriber right now, you're actually going to be paying less for your subscription. In a year's time, Twitch gives us less money. So they're giving us a year, which is really nice, but we get less money for each subscription over in a year's time. But you guys are paying less, which is also nice. Just as a side note for anyone who does subscribe on Twitch or wants to use those things, if you do want to subscribe to us on Twitch, super appreciated. There's different tiers you can subscribe to. And and also, we have our own Patreon, the Honest Wargamer Patreon. So if you want to support us there, then that would be much appreciated. Patreon doesn't take as much money as Twitch. Anyway, fuck, that was such a shit pet sales pitch. I'm sorry, but I'll fucking whip over there. But if you do subscribe on Twitch, you do get all the cool emotes. Which, like, honestly, dudes, if you want to give me some money for the show and support it, I fucking love you and appreciate you. If you don't, fucking do you. Like, it's super cool. I appreciate you anyway. Yeah, I get to this for a living. I'm the happiest man in the world. Like, I get to eat most days. It's fucking cool. Love you all. Yeah. I was more informing people because I got explained it to yesterday. Right, anyway, fucking shut up. 4 wins, 1 draw, Toowoomba Open, yeah, Timothy McDivitt with a Dethrone list, and he's got Zytrek, the great nation. Now, don't forget, Zytrek's going to give you +1 to casts, and also your wizard, your general with fast learner is going to be able to reroll one of the casts. I think that's what it is. Or you can try and unbind the second one. Most days. Shut up. Right, so in his list, in Zytrek, and this is cool because it's not Helon and it's not Sire. It's slightly different, and I think I can kind of see what Tim's going for here. He's making more reliable casts across his army, is what he's aiming for, which I think is quite cool. So he's got Techless, and he's got the Cathalar, and then he's got 3 lots of 10 Wardens, with 1 with Lambent Light and 2 with Speedy Heesh, so that's obviously really important. And then he's got 20 Sentinels, and he's got another 20 Sentinels with Techless in there as well. So more like a very old school Techlian build, like we've seen, but with more of the Sentinels. And again, if you look, small, minimal combat fighting battle line. It's not really in there for that. Instead, it looks like he's trying to control the board space with Techless, do the mortal wounds from that. He doesn't even have the spell portal. Instead, he's only got Emerald Life Swarm for the double tap. So he's going to heal 2d3 of his Wardens or his Sentinels, probably his Wardens, and try and res them and keep them in the game that way, which I think is quite an interesting take. I'm a big fan of this list. I think it's quite cool. Now, those Sentinels are going to be... The Sentinels are the precise opposite problem to the Gargants. And I honestly, list writing, no idea what to do right now. And it's great seeing someone like Tim push this army around, and it's super cool to see other people pushing Gargants around. Because every time I've written a list that I think, yep, I'm going to get those Gargants, I then think about this sort of list that Tim's running, and I think, okay, that list is just going to take me to pieces. And I honestly haven't found many things that fit into both categories at the moment, yeah? And it's an interesting take. And I'm sure Tim had all sorts of fun shooting off, like, support characters, key pieces, all manner of things. And 10 Wardens is still some pretty good output. It really, really is. So that's Tim. Now, Corey, if you guys haven't been following us talking on the Stats Center for a while, hey, Warhammer Bruce. Corey is smashing it. He smashed it specifically, like, particularly around kind of Christmas in 2021, just after Christmas of 2020, so New Year of 2021, with Daughters of Cain. He was using the old Daughters of Cain before, in between Broken Realms of Marathi and the launch of the DOK book. And he was running this thing called Corey's Gambit, which was a very odd Calibron teleport using the Bringy Dingy list. Corey's an excellent gamer. He's had solid performances all year. He also, solid. Like, if you're talking about Australian Age of Sigmar at the moment, Corey's right at the top of that list. You know, with Smorgan and Arthur and Tim and all these people, like Dave Kerr, of course, like all these people, like consistent performers over there. Playing small. Hey, Bobbin, what's going on? Hope you're well. And Lackey. Right, anyway, so Corey was running. Oh, wait, has he moved into Tzeentch? Corey, you monster. So he's running Host Duplicitous Tzeentch, which means that you can't run away from them. As in, once you're locked into combat with one of the Host Duplicitous units, you can't retreat away. He's got Kara's Fate Weaver, and he's got an Ogroid Thermitage, which is honestly a good shout, because he's got a D6 Mortal Wound spell. And he's not bad in a fight. Like, honestly, not bad. Like, he's not great, but 165, he's like a mini monster. So you've got Kairos, Changecaster, and Blue Scribes. Blue Scribes is going to give you rerolls to cast across this army. So the Changecaster is going to cast a bunch of different spells, as will Ogroid, as will Kairos. Kairos can cast the Ogroid spell as well as the Changecaster spell, which means gives him access to basically flat 6 mortal wounds from his own spell, Gift of Change, and an additional 2d6 mortal wound spells at 18 inches. So don't get in that 18-inch bubble. Obeyed, I know you're listening. Never do it. And then he's got 2 units of 10 Pink Horrors, and then he's got 10 Karakakalites. Then he's got Chronomantic Cogs and Umbral Spell Portal. Now, he's obviously taken the Magnificent trait, so he's got additional spells on here. So it's more of a summoning list than it is anything else. So he's going to sit behind those 2 units of 10 Pink Horrors. He's going to summon a lot of stuff. Every spell you cast with each gets you extra fate points. Oh, this is still quite small to see, isn't it? Every spell you cast gets you extra fate points, and that's going to generate you a ton of summoning, and you're going to put that on the board. And then anything gets within 18 inches, you're going to be able to smoke it with all of your spells. It's basically how it works. It's a cool list. It works really nicely. I'm a big fan. And that's Corey, and also Corey's playing it, so he knows what he's about. Now, finally, in the 4-0 place, we had, let me just make sure I've got this right. Let me check my notes. Oh, no, that's the wrong program. This is normally put together better. So, in the 4-1 category, so 1-4 is Tyler McDonald with Khorne, Reapers of Vengeance, which is honestly, let's go look at that, because that's unlikely. And then Sam Thompson with his Soulblight Gravelords of Rykos, which they do so well in the 4-1 category. So well. So 4 wins, 1 loss. Kill Carrot Lol says Scribes don't need to cast the rerolls because Duplicitous Command trait does that anyway. It's true, but you do have 2 sources of it now, and you're going to cast a spell anyway, right? So he's got Reapers of Vengeance, his grand strategy is Beastmaster, he's got Be'lakor, Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster, Scarbrand, Bloodsecrator, and Scar Bloodwrath. And then he's got 3 lots of 10 Blood Reavers. Again, reinforcing that conversation. Minimal battle line. They're just going to die to a stiff breeze. He's obviously going to want to generate Blood Tithe points, and there's a way to do it. 2 times 5 Wrathmongers, 10 Gore, and then 5 Centaur that he's allied in. Khorne players are fucky, man. This is cool. I imagine the Wrathmongers giving the additional hits to Scarbrand is an interesting take, right? The big Boomthirster on the Wrath of Khorne Bloodthirster there, and Be'lakor to shut stuff down. Interesting. Honestly, I can't pick this list apart. Like, Tyler must have been playing some pretty solid. Shit, my alarm didn't go off. Hey, Tristan. Yeah, honestly, I would need Tyler to tell me how this works specifically, because some of those key units, like I know Pasky in the chat is saying that those Centaur, they smash. Wrath of Khorne isn't the Boomthirster. Yeah, you're right. It isn't the Boomthirster. So he's got Scarbrand for some big hits. I'm being a bit fast. Okay. So he's got Scarbrand for the big hits, with the Wrathmongers give him an additional attack. He's got Scar Bloodwrath who keeps dying to generate points. The Blood Reavers, he doesn't even have... He's got one Bloodsecrator. Honestly, I don't know how this works. 3 attacks with 8 mortal wounds, and each attack with Scarbrand, so up to 48 mortal wounds. So it's the plus. Do the pluses from the Wrathmongers stack? Because that might be the answer. He might be stacking the pluses from the Wrathmongers, so +1 attack on each into Scarbrand for the big smacks. And that's a lot, though. You're basically like organizing everything around one fairly slow dude. I don't think they stack. So then why has he got 2? Who knows? I don't understand how the fuck that list works. So there you go, Tyler. You've bamboozled me, and I would like someone to tell me how that works, is what I'm going to say. But he won 4 and only lost 1, and that's pretty impressive. Because honestly, I think Khorne are in a tougher place. But at the end of the day, he's got 3 monsters. So he's got Ferocious Advance straight off the bat. He's got a bunch of different stuff there. Anyway, it's a good shout. Well done to Tyler. So that was the Toowoomba Open this weekend. 32 players at that particular event, which is super cool. And that was our only 2-1 this weekend. That was our only 2-day event this weekend. And there you go. So then for one-day events, let me go through these. We had War in the Mortal Realms, which was at the Bad Moon Cafe down in London. And this had three 3-0 players. You have Matt Goldsborough from the Bad Moon Loons, as we know, a solid wargamer, again with his Lumineth Realm Lords. Again with his Lumineth Realm Lords, sorry. Simon Weekly with his Sons of Behemoth Destruction list, and then Ray Standage with his Seraphon Order Army, which is pretty solid. And then our man Owen Jackson, top of the 2-1s, with his OCR Bone Reapers. But yeah, Ray Standage, Simon Weekly, and Matt Goldsborough, all very different 3-0 results. Seraphon, Sons of Behemoth, and then Lumineth Realm Lord. So that was the War in the Mortal Realms at the Bad Moon Cafe in London, which happens very regularly. So if you guys ever want to go down there, you should. Over in Cornwall, on Prince Edward Island, we had our first one-dayer from Prince Edward Island, I'm pretty certain. The Blazing Sands event, that's right. And that was taken out by, let me just get this right, Les Anderegg from the Jakera Appreciation Society. And he was running a Seraphon Thunder Lizard list. And he'd got himself, it was only a 1,000-point tournament. I'm pretty certain it was only a 1,000-point tournament, which was one of our, they're all part of the Loons team, they are. Are you covering the 6-turn, 6 weeks torn at the end of this week? Maybe, forgive, I'm not sure. Maybe. So that was a 1,000-point event, and we also had another 1,000-point of event this weekend, which is quite cool. Let me just go find that information out, which was the Wonkos event. It was a 1,000-point tourney with 22 people. Let me just go find this. And that was won by Ryan Rutherford with his Legion of the First Prince and Brian Faber with his Sons of Behemoth list. They're from the Weird Knobs as well. 1,000 points of Sons of Behemoth gets you, by the way, a Kraken Eater and a War Stomper. And you're done. Which I really enjoyed. You turn up with 2 models, you can just carry them in your hands, get on the bus, carry them, put them down. You're good. You're in a good spot there. So yeah, that was the One Coast 1000 event. There was Oscar Lars ran a doubles tournament over where was it? In Sweden. I don't know where it was. It was somewhere. But there was a doubles tournament as well this weekend, which is super cute. Hey Rob, playing my first tournament this weekend, went 2-1 with Soulblight Gravelord Monsters. Your content definitely made me feel better prepared. Hey, Kemi Cats, I'm so happy. That's pretty good. I appreciate that. Hey man, I'm so happy. That's honestly, that's the best thing that's been said to me. Thanks, Kemi. I'm really happy. 2-1 as well is excellent result with Soulblight Gravelords. You should be super chuffed. Well done. That's fucking love to hear that. Really happy about that. So yeah, those are kind of weird and out there events. So yeah, let me just get my other event results. So then the Age of Sigmar Battle Line or Bust in Jacksonville. That's right. In Jacksonville. Let me go find this now. Yes, was won by Brandon Voss with his Disciples of Tzeentch Host Arcanum list. So he was the only person to go 3-0, and it's pretty similar to what you would expect. It's got an Ogroid Thermitage, Blue Scribes, Lord of Change, Kharas Fateweaver, Great Brave Shaman. So it's a big summoning pool, 2 lots of 10 Pink Horrors, some Karak Acolytes, and he hasn't taken. Oh, he has. Chronomantic Cogs, Life Swarm, and Umbral Spell Portal. So just really solid Tzeentch summoning list. Again, proving its worth. Really difficult to deal with. Those 2 lots of 10 Pink Horrors can hold those objectives really well. And then the Lord of Change, Fate Weaver, the Great Bray Shaman to use a bit Devolve. Blue Scribes in the Ogroid is going to do some really good work. And that's so that was the Age of Sigmar Battle Line or Bust in Jacksonville event, and that was won by, let me just double check one more time, Brandon Voss. And then going 2-1 was Zachary Shin, Cody Schultz. Zachary was running Sons of Behemoth. Cody Schultz was Soulblight Gravelords in Vikos. By the way, that's the third Soulblight Gravelords Vikos dynasty. I don't want to say that I called it when we did the Battletome review, but we called it, right? I see that all the time now. Matthew Phillips, Beastcore Raiders, and MLP with City Sigmar Greywater Fastness list, which is pretty cool, going 2-1. So big props on that. So that was the Age of Sigmar Battle Line or Bust in Jacksonville. And then our other one-dayer was the Sigmar Summer Slam. Let me just let me go find this. Yes, Onboard Gaming presents the Sigmar Summer Slam. So this was 14 players, and it was Samuel Valdez with his big war in the top bracket, along with Wyatt Schroeder, who was also big war. So it was like a double big war on the top tables, which I thought was amazing. I had to repair a scissor lift. I'm back. Okay. I mean, you can practically do that sticking models in your arms. Okay, good. I'm going to slow down. I'm reading too many things, chat. When I don't have someone to bounce off, I just talk too fast. So I'm just going to calm it down. Okay. Big War equals big stonks. Big War does equal big stonks. Well, if we want to see how some of these lists are, let's go look at that right now, shall we? So Samuel Valdez was running. Let me just double check. So he was running a Kragnos. Holy shit. Megaboss or Maw Crusher, Uruk War Chanter and a Wardock. Then 30 Savage Uruk Ard Boys. 2 lots of 5 Ard Boys in a battle regiment. So that was Samuel. Well done, Samuel. That's Kragnos and a Megaboss. Megaboss and Maw Crusher slaps, right? Just going to say it. Where was this one? This was on board. I'm going to try and find out where it was. 1 second. This was in Escondido, CA. Is that California? Sorry, boys. You're going to have to help me out if that's where it is. You did miss the Blazing Sand shout out, Tristan. Apologies. The US mayor strikes again. Anyway, so that's the cool list. And then our other 2-1. Sorry, our other 3-0 in this list was Wyatt Schroeder with his big war. And that was Megaboss and Maw Crusher, Wurgog Prophet, Wardock, Uruk War Chanter, 2 lots of 5 Ard Boys, and again 30 Savage Uruk Ard Boys, and then a Rogue Idol. I can 100% see those Savage Uruk Boys being really useful at the moment, right? I can really see that being really helpful. Because it's just a 60 wound brick on an objective. And like I was talking about, if you look at a lot of the trends of a lot of the lists that are doing well, it's min battle line, or it's a chonky. It's those like 10 pink horrors, 30 savage or card boys, all holding an objective, and then everything else is designed to go grab and smash, which I think is quite interesting. Even Tim McDivitt's list with the 3 lots of 10 wardens, and then the sentinels and techlers and everything's behind it. He's just barely holding objectives and then smashing over the top. Trash wounds for the win. Yeah, it's also a shit ton of attacks. Yeah, 100%. That is correct. So shout out to those guys. They should be really chuffed with that. And then in the 2-1 bracket was Chris Daughtry, Gareth Thomas, Matt Jones. Matt Jones is Magickin and Nurgle, which I think is cool. And then Matt Nugan with his Sons of Behemoth. 2 Sons of Behemoth, by the way, in the 2-1 bracket there. I think you're going to see that all the time. I don't think you're not going to stop seeing that. And then finally, our last one-dayer is the Fat Ogre monthly AOS tournament. This had 15 players, and in first place was Jack Ratley with Legion of the First Prince. He went 3-0, but Kyle Valdez also went 3-0 with his Slaves to Darkness ever-chosen list. So we'll look at both of those 2 lists, because I imagine they've both got Be'lakor in, and that seems to be the takeaway from the day, right? There are a lot of Be'lakor lists. So the Slaves to Darkness list is the 6 Circle Host the Ever-Chosen. Yes, love 6 Circles. So this is extra damage on 6s to hit. 6s to wound, sorry. Archaon the Ever-Chosen. Chaos Sorcerer Lord, or it's extra damage to Varangard. I can't remember. It's extra damage somewhere in 6 Circle. Slaves to Darkness, Archaon the Everchosen, of course he's in there, Chaos Sorcerer Lord, and then 5 Chaos Marauder Horsemen, 30 Chaos Marauders in a big brick, +1 damage on the charge, thanks Pask. 10 Chaos Warriors, and then those 3 Varangard. Now they've all got Mark of Tzeentch and a Chaos War Shrine with heal again. This is a one-dayer, so this isn't the same as Dave's. This is a one-dayer, but it's still great to see that tech in there. Not going for Curse, and instead of having heal on there, just healing Archaon up even more, I think is really interesting. That Mark of Tzeentch coming in super clutch across the army because it's giving them reroll 1s to save. So there's Varangard with +1 save. It's giving them going from a 3 up to a 2 up, rerolling 1s. Actually, there was also one day in Germany this weekend. Thank you. I'll click that in a moment. Nice. I'll read that in a second. But yeah, like that list is just really solid Warhammer at the moment. Rerolling 1s from Mark of Tzeentch. Anything with a 3 up save, coming in a 2 up save, and then getting those rerolls. I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of this in the future. Looking forward to playing at the biggest AOS tournament, Norsehammer in Norway. Araby Viking. When is that? Tell me when that is. And then the other list that went 3-0 at this event, so this is the Fat Ogre monthly AOS tournament, was the Legion of the First Prince list, and it had Kairos, Be'lakor, Sloppity Barpiper, Slaves to Darkness, Demon Prince, the Khorne version, obviously. It doesn't say that on there, but it will be, with the Ruinous Aura and the Armor of Pact. It does say Mark of Khorne, sorry. And the Contorted Epitome with the 4-fold blade, so doing D3 mortal wounds. And then 20 Plague Bearers, which are going to tie in so well with Sloppity Barpiper. 2 lots of 10 Plague Bearers, and then 3 Screamers of Tzeentch, and then the Umbral Spell Portal, and obviously that's going to tie in super well with Kairos. So you're going to be able to summon Pink Horrors from this list as well. You're going to be able to make units fight on death. You're going to be able to give them an additional ward. Legion of the First Prince stonks are actually higher now, because I don't know if the 6-up DPR that you get from Legion of the First Prince counts as a ward, and if it doesn't, actually say it's a ward save, then you'll be able to stack that with Disgusting Resilience as well as other wards that you might be able to put into that list now, which is pretty impressive, I think. It's not a ward. Oh no. So Legion of the First Prince stonks are through the roof. Absolutely through the roof. Like, they work so well. Wow, that's just going to get better. The issue I'm seeing with wards after saves is some TOs are wanting to collapse them and only allow a single post-armor save, which is clearly not the case in the FAQ, says Psycho. Yeah. We'll talk about wards in a moment. Let me just finish off a couple of things that got brought up in the chat. So, upcoming events, there's loads. We have Blood Tithe in the UK, we've got Age of Sigmar 6 Nations. There's a bunch of events around the world. There's a big event over in Norway, like we just got told about. The Archaon Norsehammer Open. So it's going to have like nearly 50 players there. So that's really fun. So loads of events coming up in the next few weeks all over. And then there was also an event this weekend in Germany with kharadronoverlords, flesheatercourts, and Seraphon. Oh, and Idoneth Deepkin all winning 3. All winning 3, so a very thick 3-0 bracket. So Idoneth Deepkin, Seraphon, flesheatercourts, kharadronoverlords. Actually, first time I've read about Idoneth Deepkin doing well in Age of Sigmar 3, actually. Even in the 4-1 brackets, I think we've rarely seen them, which I think is interesting. Now, some people might say that it's all because they just stacked their command ability in turn 3 and it never actually took any skill to do so. But, yeah. Hey, yes, meatballs. Where's Brewhammer at? Big love to you. But yeah, so that's over in Germany. So it was Castellan with his kharadronoverlords, Druss with his flesheatercourts, Cipolla with his Seraphon, and Babywind with his Idoneth Deepkin. It's a bar. Nice. Right, okay, because Rend is pointless now. That's also true. They also have been hurt by Rend massively as well. There were 2 in the top 10 at the Florida, says Final Flash. Thanks, Final Flash. Sorry if I missed it. Okay. All right. So, one big event, loads of little events. What do we take from this at the moment? Current trends. How do we feel about some of these? Now, one day is I think not necessarily the best indication. But I would say that like there are some big stonks in Age of Sigmar lists, and I would say that probably the biggest one is Soulblight Gravelords. I really feel like Soulblight Gravelords has got some real solid legs, and I've been saying this for a few weeks, in that 4-1 bracket 5-0 territory. They're just very, very good, in my opinion. And we've seen a bunch of different versions of it. We've seen specifically Vycross lists doing really well. But I think we're also seeing more of the armor-heavy Manfred versions. And there's also the Nagash variant as well. So I think Soulblight Gravelords is a very wide book with a lot of play, which I think is quite interesting. Megagargants, fantastic at 4-1s. Most likely, you could just... I think you can pick up any Megagargant army and probably... just go win 2 games because you've got Megagargants, right? Also, big takeaway, the Norn, is that people are playing games, which is obviously excellent. So a person that took second at my event plays first ever games of anything tabletop ever, which is really great, Tristan. I'm really happy about that. Archaon, the Three-Eyed King, thank you for subscribing. Finally! Daniel, is that who you are? Oh my god. That's so exciting that that's who you are. Go on, Dan. Yes. Oh, finally I know. I'm really happy about that. So, quick question. What's the next AOS tourney in the arena? Is a week on Saturday. Ziggy is the next one here. And I need to reply to you about those things. So I'll do that after the show. I think people are down on them because people hate on Morathi and Bosnates ahead of their new album. I think they are. I was surprised we didn't hear a single DOK list today. Yeah, I think like there are only so many of them in the world, right? Like there are only so many of each army in the world, and whether or not someone's pushing them around a lot. And you've got to ask yourself, does Morathi play well into kind of the Archaon lists, which are doing better and better and better? Like, it's so interesting to see these lists. And I think Dave has got it, the kind of the headline winner of the weekend, really, in having that multiple heals and multiple saves. Having it in Tzeentch also seems really strong as well, but he's got a nice supporting cast in Slaves to Darkness as well. We saw earlier in Age of Sigmar 3, a couple of weeks ago, actually, I can't remember who was running it, so I'm sorry about that, but we saw an amazing 6-circle Host the Everchosen list as well, with the 3x3 Varangard with Sinesh, Mark of Sinesh, not Tzeentch, and then generating those extra hits for the extra damage. So there's some really good survivability in there as well. Another key takeaway, like I've said, I think, is all of those min battle lines just doing their jobs. And even the core list that did okay was Scarbrand, min battle line, just looking for the one big hit. And that's really interesting if you think about how you score points. The way you score points, obviously, is you have your monster do you do a battle tactic anyway, but the way to win is have a monster do it for an additional 1 VP. It doesn't sound like a lot, but you're also playing those other single games, and I think you're playing that primary game anyway, you're scoring those points, you're assumed to be scoring those points, so you're really trying to see how you can push your list to score an additional, it's only an additional 4 points over the course of the game, maximum. But it's still really important to achieve if you can. Hey, Wraith, these are the first print stonks. Is great news for my Bastillodons. It is. And Wraith, congratulations on the result at the weekend. Great work. A lot of people saying Morathi and the Bosnates are touring abroad right now. Because Pasky's saying Daughters of Cain stonks go up with the Ed Sheeran changes. That's true. So the change to Archaon. Archaon being probably one of the, if not the major threat in Age of Sigmar 3, the change to Archaon is will we see Archaon taken? And that's because we've seen his War Scroll change a little bit, so his Eye of Shireen, or the Eye of Ed Sheeran, reroll 6s to hit has been changed to a once per battle ability for -1 to hit. Now that's not going to affect things like Sentinels or Morathi Bowsnakes or Wardens or things that could probably bring him down. But he's also got a 4-up ward save against mortals, so I think he's probably fine, to be honest. I don't think he's worse. I think he's good. I think he's probably as good, is what I'm trying to say. With the clutch, once per battle -1 to hit might actually be really important in the right matchups. It really might be in the right matchups. -1 to hit works better against shooting. There you go, says Archaon the Three-Eyed King. I think the reroll 6s was actually quite nice into Lumineth, which you're going to see a lot of anyway. So yeah. What do we think at the end of today's results? I think that and with the FAQ in mind, okay, I think Archaon's as good as before. Maybe a tiny bit worse, but I don't think it's perceptible, basically, at most ends. I think Sons of Behemoth are excellent. Are really, really excellent. I think Legion of the First Prince Stonks and things like Nurgle, Beastcore Raiders, and maybe even Skaven. Not Skaven so much because it's a support piece. Beastcore Raiders, Nurgle, definitely, although rumours of a new book coming up, are going to be really impacted by the ability to stack ward saves. I think that's going to be pretty key as well. But there are some other kind of FAQ changes. Nurgle being able to place their forests not in the middle now, or the Feculent Gnarl and in their own territory is a problem. So we might see that have some effect. So Daughters of Cain went from having losing matchup to soft winning matchup versus Archaon, which means you probably will see more Daughters of Cain. You might see more Daughters of Cain. I think Daughters of Cain are in a really solid place anyway. So they're also up there. Tzeentch is up there, as is Tzeentch. Archaon is up there. Archaon and Slaves is up there. Soulblight Gravelords and Sons of Behemoth in that 4-1 bracket. Cities of Sigmar are still an incredibly solid force. It does, Dan. It does, Dan. Sorry, just counts for the first tree. But that first tree was fairly important for alpha striking Nurgle lists, I thought. And if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, the Feculent Gnarl allows you to run and charge. So I think being able to not put the first one out into the mid board necessarily means you can't maybe run and charge. But like I think the Nurgle aficionados will talk about it. Are FEC looking good in this edition? Well, they're looking a little bit better since the ward sacking staves, because that works really nicely for Ghoul King on Terrorgeist with an Amulet of Destiny and also their spell. But getting those spells off is going to be really hard. My biggest takeaway is what Jacob Berry's saying in the chat, and I think it's probably the one I'll leave you with before we try to get the stats for you next week from the Honest Wargamer. Our man Ziggy in the chat is helping us with that, so big shout out to him. Is that I think that the top bracket is actually really, really wide. And I think working out how to get your few minimum points... Rob, stop saying it's easy stacking after saves are not wards. Yes, sorry, it's not. I mean, I consider them to be wards. You're right. DPRs and wards are not the same. Of course. I don't mean you can stack a ward and a ward. You can't stack a ward and a ward. You can stack a ward and a DPR, a damage prevention roll, yeah, or an after save, as another way of putting it. It shouldn't be like that, but it is, right? I don't want it to be like that, and it's dumb, but while it's like that, either a TO is going to FAQ it or comp it, or you're going to have Legion of the First Prince lists and Nurgle lists and even Beastcore Raider lists and flesheatercourts lists that are going to benefit from being able to achieve those things. Yeah. One of the things I don't see a lot of at the moment is Cities of Sigmar lists in the 4-1, 5-0 bracket. And I think that there's some amazing Cities of Sigmar lists in the 5-0, 4-1 bracket. And if you want to go and find out more about them, you should go check out Simon's Order Academy on YouTube. So that's Simon Hall. He's been doing a really solid job of talking about loads of those types of lists. Also really fun, and I think predominantly very anti-meta. And what I mean by that is a lot of the really, really big threats, I think Cities of Sigmar armies can deal with them better than anyone else. I think that they can play really well into Gargants. I think that they can play quite well into Lumineth. And I think they play okay into Tzeentch, but probably struggle into Tzeentch. But they play really well into big monsters. So I would go and be checking that out if I were you guys. If you want something a little off meta and you wanted to be a bit more, out there. So that's it. That's it from today. I apologise if it was a bit of a mess, because it feels like it was a bit of a mess today. Obviously missing Owen, and then I'm doing this on 4 hours sleep, so apologies to everyone. But glad we got it in. Glad we talked about the event results from the weekend. If you do have event results from the weekend coming for next Monday, do message us with all of those results. Thanks to everyone for sending us those results as well. And my shout out for today... I just want to make sure I get this, because I can... It's to Gary. I'm going to try and get it right. Gary Housechild. I'm just going to say Housechild. I don't think that's wrong. So big shout out to him for sending me some event results today. It's very much appreciated. And I hope he's well. You run a messy show where you don't talk about these things you're supposed to. Fucking surprising. What am I meant to talk about? Thank you, everyone. Playing a friendly 1.5k this week, and the new Stormcast vs Ogres. And no idea how to get rid of a Stonehorn with a 5++. I don't know. You could just ask him not to bring it, Deshumi. Just do that. Dave, big love to you. Plymouth Troll says, you know I'm hustling. It's been lovely talking to all of you. We'll be back for the 40k adjacent show tomorrow. We're not live tonight for the Age of Sigmar Monday show. Nathan got lost in a field. James still isn't sure if he even likes playing Warhammer anymore. Dad is still away. I know. We will return next week. I know. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. Nathan got lost in a whole field. It was a whole thing. But what you going to do? But we're going to be live tomorrow for the 40k adjacent show. We'll be live Wednesday, and we'll be live later in the week. I've got Nurgle faction reaction coming up this week. We've got a load of different stuff. So love to you all. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you have a really nice day, and I'll see you guys soon.